You can see just now. So the Guyanese Critic is coming to you for daybreak news from JetBlue International Airport, just outside the arrival lounge. A JetBlue Flight 1965, B1965 has just landed, and what would be the reason? It's not normal for me to be at the airport, but due to the circumstances, it's newsworthy to educate Guyanese, for Guyanese to have a better understanding of how they too can be affected. On this flight is well-known comedian and now trainer of Azadeen Mohammed and supporter of the Mohammeds, Odessa Primus, is on this flight. And only this morning she left Guyana and arrived at JFK International Airport, where she was detained, questioned, had her visa revoked, and then was put on a JetBlue flight, this specific JetBlue flight that has just landed. So bear with me, guys. She'll be out within a matter of minutes. Yeah. Here. So this is the nice new arrival lounge that we have here at the airport. Since we're here, and I think I'll go and give you guys a little gauge or an understanding of the other parts, other areas at the airport. The airport is coming up. As you know, this airport has been 5 years in the making. Originally, the contract was set up for a brand new airport, and between the years of 2015 and 2020, the airport was turned into a refurbished airport, but this is the front of the new airport, and that there is the departure lounge. Back the way there's a Lotus restaurant. They got a beautiful big parking lot that goes all the way back in that direction. Lots of parking space for people when they come into the airport. Lots of parking space. And then a nice big JetBlue International Airport. I've not seen any representation from the people who would have caused Odessa Primus to lose her visa. I don't know if this is persons coming out from the JetBlue. We should go back to make sure, because I wanna, there are questions people want to know. So Odessa Primus was seen in video with the Mohammeds and representing the Mohammeds after GRA attempted to make good on and there's a lot of media personnel out here, by the way. So Odessa Primus was seen in video footage, and I could play the footage for you, representing the Mohammeds, and even suggested she has a visa. It seems that the Americans don't take lightly to taunting. Let me play that. Just bear with me, guys. for those of you who have just tuned into the Guyanese Critic, coming to you from Chedijagan International Airport for Daybreak News, where Odessa Primus, who had her visa revoked this morning by U.S. authorities and has just landed back in Guyana on a JetBlue flight, will be coming out, and the public wants to know what happened. She had a visa, now she doesn't have a visa. What happened? What would cause the American authorities to act in such a manner? So just to give you guys a little background, yes, so just to give you guys a little background, Odessa Primus is a comedian. I've known her for a number of years. I was actually the person that made the introduction to the Mohammeds. In recent years, in recent months, she has developed a relationship with the Mohammeds and even trains the younger Mohammed, Azari Mohammed, with a bit of linguistics, help him out with speech, in delivering to the public. So she's played a role with the Mohammeds, and that it's not been any secret. She has done that publicly, and when I warned people that are the effect of sanctions, so one of the things recently, just under a year now, last year, the Mohammeds faced sanctions by the U.S. authorities. The U.S. authorities brought sanctions against Mohammed Enterprise, Hadi's World, Team Mohammed, Nazar Mohammed, and Azardine Mohammed. They also brought sanctions against a government official who was associated or a friend of the Mohammeds, Miss May Thomas. She has since resigned and is no longer with the Ministry of Home Affairs. Now, sanctions, when the sanctions were brought against the Mohammed, it was clearly read out what the intentions are, how people would be affected, and why the sanctions were brought against the Mohammeds. The Mohammeds has continued to play down the fact that hundreds, if not now thousands of people, well, hundreds, close to 1,000 people, have literally lost their visas as a result of association with the Mohammeds. They have played it down. And in one instance, that has caused Odessa Primus to be where she is today, with a revoked visa and heading back and back home. Nazar Mohammed spoke about it. Let me play the video for you guys, you'll get an understanding of context as it relates to this issue. Let me get the video up for you guys. Alright, buddy. And you'll get an understanding of where all of this began. So this is a video only recently by a few weeks ago by the Elder Muhammad. Listen to this conversation. So let me get down to the end of it. Not the time to listen to the whole video.
Right, this person is an American citizen, right? My nephew also is an American citizen, right? The purchase for everybody. They question the purchase of all these people and so on. But he stopped short to say how the minister's son lost his visa. Because in the purchase of phone, there were lots of information as it relates to monetary transaction. Hundreds of thousands of US. And he says, yes, you know, you understand. The vice president stopped short to talk about these four persons that closely connected with them, two Chinese citizens and two contractors who lost their visa. They don't have nothing to do with the Mohammeds. They have absolutely nothing to do with them. I know them, I've seen them around, right? You know, one of them used to do a little business with me, and that's about it. So they're peddling a lot of lies, trying to make it look like if you is this bad man. Listen, if I was a bad man, all these people would not be here. We didn't invite them to be here. But they heard that something going on. One person heard that something going on. And so people came here to stand in solidarity with us. You know? You understand? This is what's going on. Bring the people. I'm standing here with all you guys. I'm sure some of you have visas. So because I'm standing here with you, take a picture, the media carriage, you can lose your visa. Bullshit, man, you know? I have a visa. You'll be gone tomorrow?
So in that video, you'd have heard her saying, I have a visa, taunting the US authorities. Now, well, she no longer has a visa because it seems that the US authorities don't take too lightly to being taunted. So, sorry. We're here now waiting at arrival. The JetBlue flight has landed, but obviously the authorities would want to have a word with Ms. Primus as it relates to, and authorities would have to get an understanding if she left Guyana legally and then had her visa revoked. It's only fair for the authorities to ask questions as to what exactly transpired. Will she be honest? When leaving, she told someone that she was questioned extensively about the Mohammeds, and also her phone was confiscated for a period of time. Obviously, all the phone calls and connections between persons who she makes arrangements with on behalf of the Mohammeds, all that information will be with US authorities now. And the US authorities for over 15 years have been gathering information on the Mohammeds as it relates to a number of different investigations. The sanctions brought against the Mohammeds were in direct relation to the loss of revenue by the Guyana Revenue Authority and by extension the Guyana government as a result of tax evasion by the Mohammeds. So I said I would have given you guys a rundown or a better understanding of how sanctions work. And one of the sanctioning mechanisms for people of low interest or low stature in a country, and people might not know, because if you're a businessman, you could be affected because you could be affected by sanctions because the US wouldn't want to do business with you and wouldn't afford you the opportunity to send and receive money or have US companies do business with you. That's one of the ways you could be affected. But low profile persons such as a person like Odessa Primus, who doesn't really have much foreign business and so on, how she is affected is revocation of the visa. There are some people don't have that much of a footprint, a financial footprint across borders that affords them the opportunity, to be affected higher up at, like the Russian sanctions have been known to affect Russians. The US would seize their yachts, Russian yachts and helicopters. Sanctions on Venezuela, the Americans have seized 2 planes from Maduro as a result of sanctions. So the sanctions are something that are far and wide reaching, but for persons who, like Odessa Primus, who have come out publicly and stated their support, and I must say, I am in receipt of information that several other persons are on the radar. Again, since the US authorities have had the Mohammed family on their radar, hundreds of people have lost their visas. Hundreds. This is before the sanctions, and when the sanctions were put in place, a number of other people. The Mohammeds recently paid for trips for Odessa Primus to go to Washington and meet lobbyists, and pay for Kieran Bruce to visit Washington, visit the United States, and to show that even people who are associated with them, with an attempt to bolster, and people would ask, why would they do something so silly? Well, why would they do all the things that they have done and posted on Facebook that has brought controversy to the Mohammed family? Why would have Azadeen Mohammed posted on his Facebook page the GRA receipts that he paid? Why would he have posted that, causing GRA to start an investigation and realizing that he was part of, or they used the process to deny GRA of their revenue and duties on the vehicle? The Reuters articles a few years ago about the Mohammeds and being in the island gas sector and everything premise most of their report. So this is Odessa Primus just arriving. Nice blue body fitting suit. So she's on the ground, but my main interest is questions that would help Guyanese to better understand, how they can be affected. Because Odessa Primus is not a high-level person. Odessa Primus is not a, she's not a high-value asset, you would call, a person with lots of assets or property and these kind of things. So, for someone who, for the most part, cracks jokes and makes nice, funny comments on Facebook, to come now, be a part of the, associating with the Mohammeds, and then losing, her visa, something that every Guyanese would like to have the little freedom to visit places. Like me having a visa is not so much about visiting America, but using the ports like Miami and New York to fly to other parts of the world. Every time I leave Guyana and going to another continent or another international port, I have to use I have to use, you know, Panama or Miami or New York, which are internet. Yeah, go inside and sit down. So some of the reporters are gonna go inside and have a seat. Looks like it's a setup. Go and sit down, go and sit down. So yes, guys, the effects of sanctions on people and you know, when I warn Guyanese, like, it is a matter of fact that as a result of a Facebook post by Odessa Primus suggesting support for the Mohammeds, with the Mohammeds, standing in video with the Mohammeds, she has lost her visa. Her visa was revoked this morning. There's no question about that. How is this to be dealt with? How it would be addressed? How other Guyanese are going to be affected? A lot of Guyanese, I can remember the first time anybody said publicly about losing a visa, or no, not getting a visa, is when I went to the embassy and was turned down. And all 2 times I was turned down by the embassy, I spoke of it publicly. I came out and spoke of the effects on me publicly. A lot of people who have lost their visas as a result of association with the Mohammeds are scared, are ashamed, and Guyanese in general are ashamed to say that they lost the visa or they were denied a visa. Guyanese in general are ashamed. I can remember when I spoke about losing my visa, how much hundreds of calls I get. One man told me he applied 12 times, 11 times, and then got it on the 12th time. So now, so vital information I also just received, and I had known, but I was waiting to confirm. So Odessa Primus recently went to Washington, D.C., where she met a U.S. lobbyist. Now, as a result of sanctions, as a result of the sanctions, the OFAC sanctions brought against the Mohammeds cannot do business with any U.S. firm. They used Odessa Primus, and I've been aware of this, but I've just received a message confirming Odessa Primus was used by the Mohammeds as a buffer between themselves and the U.S. lobbyist. So let me get photos of that and show you also. And again, you have to have evidence, but a lot of other individuals will be affected by these sanctions. Some who actually don't deserve it. I don't think Odessa Primus deserve it, but if you come out and you take the people money and you're gonna flaunt in the US and making laugh for the US, how else do you expect, what else do you expect the end result to be? So let me get some pictures for you guys so you have an understanding of what exactly I'm talking about. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me, guys. For those of you who have just tuned in, we're coming to you. The Guyanese Critic is coming to you for Daybreak News live from Chedijagan International Airport. The airport, their arrival launch, where Odessa Primus just returned to Guyana on a JetBlue flight after having her visa revoked in the United States as a direct result of her association with the Mohammeds. The honest truth is she has been used and unfortunately now has lost her visa as a result of that. Like many other people, hundreds of other people who would have lost the visa as a result of association with the Mohammeds. Let me I'm getting some photos for you guys. Bear with me. And our main interest is getting a few questions in as to, what were the questions asked by the US authorities. So this is Odessa Primus recently in Washington, where she went and then flaunted the fact that she met US lobbyists. The US authorities obviously didn't take that lightly, and today she's returning to Guyana without a visa. So I have been unable, I think it's the phone that I'm doing the live with here presently is actually the phone. It's actually the phone that has the pictures, but she went to the United States, she posted up. This was reposted by Sherrod Duncan. This was reposted by Rickford Burke, saying, oh, you're meeting big people in Washington. And yes, used and now, well, obviously not discarded, because what the spin is going to be, if you look at the Mohammed's modus operandi, what the spin is going to be is, oh, it is something else. What else Odessa Primus could have her visa revoked for? And I'm telling you, the information that is in and information that I have received is that she was used by the Mohammeds as a buffer between the Mohammeds and lobbyists in Washington. She did not deny that. She posted up. She posted photographs with the lobbyists. Why would Odessa Primus be meeting a lobbyist in Washington? She started to be a buffer, and there are other persons that are being used as such. Kieran Bruce. The US authorities have been investigating for some time now and have a number of individuals on their radar. If you see something, you know something, you just have to make a report to the US authorities. You see a picture with somebody with them. A lot of people on the radar. Charles Sugrim, a well-known Guyanese politician and individual who plays a role in hosting a show, Globe Span, is now with the Mohammeds and assists them with their campaigning across Guyana. Has been stopped by the US authorities and questioned. He's an American citizen. He is an American citizen, and people, hundreds of people are constantly stopped on a daily basis. Today, the authorities did not only stop, detain, revoke, and then send back Odessa Primus. They had a look at her cell phone. They had her cell phone in their possession for some period of time. It is known that the the US look at what people have in their cell phone. Once you're going into the airport and you've accepted that you are at one of their port of entries and you want legal entrance, these are some of the things that you have to expect. And they consider to be the rights of authorities to be able to check your phone, see what kind of information you'll be sharing, who you've been associating with. That's the question. In light of the fact that Odessa Primus is now seen, or the understanding that I've just received is that she was seen as a buffer. She's identified, as a matter of fact, as a buffer between the Mohammeds and a lobbyist in Washington. Foolishly so, she posted photos of it. The Mohammeds have continuously come under attack as a result of what they post on social media. Nobody looks for the Mohammeds, nobody knows the Mohammed story. Everything. Reuters wrote an extensive article just over a year ago. And most of it would have been what Azadeen Mohammed would have posted on his Facebook page. It is worrying as to why people would never learn. Publicly, their voice notes that were released when the elder Mohammed is telling his son, man, you know, don't do these things, don't continue to do these things. And it is worrying why someone, just for the interest of Facebook likes and posts, would cause the destruction of a whole empire. So Odessa Primus is just about to step out here. She's a comedian, so she knows how to deal with these kind of things well. I'm going to hear what questions are going to be asked. People want to know.
US authorities. Are you coming back on your own cars now? No, I'm trying to find out. You had a flight booked to return to Guyana at this time? Or say where you were denied entry to the US?
You do personal. No, wait, hold on. You run inside every take up your picture, we put up on the internet, I use real low like dogs here. I tell you, come in everything I think. I want you to know me, got no shame, I don't business, you give me a easy time. I want you to understand, US authorities my foot.
Is your budget visa revoked?
You go and ask the US authority because you know them personally.
Okay.
Good.
So they say snitch on
Who
my
else? What critics are?
Are you so friendly?
I ain't said nothing yet, you want me to say something? I rooted for you.
Because when the people
Were
call
you
me,
questioning about the Mohammed?
The people tell me I gotta come back to Guyana, can critic. Alright.
Did they ask you anything about the Mohammed?
Did they ask you not about the Mohammed? They asked me about no critic. I say yes.
And that's why they sent you back?
Right. By the time I say yeah, people say out. I say go. Back home. What?
Don't rush your bag, man.
You got a vested interest in me, love. Oh, can I give you one fingerprint and blood sample? Oh, I allow to do whatever I want. Nobody never revoke us, no matter if, no, let's go. You don't study me visa. Would you want to see my visa for love? Well, I tell you what, excuse me. Tired night, Jersey, you're not easy time. Me, I'm the first, you gotta be. I know I'm tired, you're tired, that's the way I'm not easy time. Yeah, no, I'm not in my study. I didn't think clear to put you. Right now, I feel so important, I'm confused, and then I want to walk to town. Pretend, y'all, I'm bringing a thing from Sheriff to take, you know?
You alright?
Huh? And I just want to know. You can carry me?
I ain't got cash. Oh, that's by the way, Odessa Primus used to work for me. She's denying her visa has been revoked, but it has been. You don't go on a morning flight and come back in the afternoon just like that.
Oh my God. She's not cooperating with us.
No,
She's not cooperating with us.
Well, you weren't cooperating with them, that's why they sent you back.
Yes, I cooperated with you now, that's why they...
Okay.
Right. Excuse me.
Okay.
You do personal.
Okay.
Huh? I have a somewhere. And then I got critical after. No, we want to know you got to share old things, condemn things and so on. You need to right, yeah. All of them condemn like you. Anyways.
So Odessa, you know, in good spirits as a comedian. So you got and we worked before. Odessa Primus used to work for me on one of my radio programs years ago.
This is the pinnacle of life. This is as far as the greatest excitement and so on. Guys, thank you very much. And this is all y'all from different news agencies.
Odessa, on a serious note, you know it's as a result of you being a buffer for the Mohammeds and taking out the photographs with the lobbyists. You know that's why.
You can try that with a lobbyist picture when you put up on the internet where you say about lobbyists and this and that. You can fight that.
Is you said the man is a lobbyist?
I never said that.
You took a picture.
Said that.
Listen to me. Shara Duncan and Burke shared it. I have the post.
They said the man is a lobbyist.
You didn't know the man is a lobbyist when you met him?
I don't know what the man is do.
So will you meet the man in Washington for?
Why I can't meet men? What is this? Why can't I meet men? What is going on with you?
So she take the file. Don't worry, she'll be adequately compensated. There's no problem.
I want you find something that send me visa get revoked. You understand me? And I personally
Don't do that, man. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Don't make her do that, man. Don't make her pull out a Trump card for you, man. Oh, God. I definitely beginning the thing, Odessa. I definitely beginning the thing. Who you believe sending the information, man? Don't make her pull out my Trump card, man.
pull out your Trump card.
Don't make her do that, man. Oh, man. Oh, don't force me, man. You know me, she used to work years ago, right? She used to work for me. Oh.
I can't stop that. You understand me? And whoever feel like they can come here tonight and we can do something and that's going to be embarrassed or whatever, that's not going to happen.
So the intention
It's not but embarrassed. I don't think.
No.
You're comedian.
I don't mean critic, right? Critic the hate on your own equation. But people like this guy and this guy, you understand me?
Your mommy
So
can.
our intention is not to embarrass you. It is
Can't embarrass me. I shame out my shame.
So we received information.
Huh? I don't snitch for nobody. Were you studying if I snitch on the Mohammeds for buy? What got for snitch on? What one know? I just work with them?
Okay, but if I may, right? We received information.
This side. Culture, like she nobody cared. Like she lost her sense of direction. Not only she visa, she lost her sense of direction. Man, Odessa, will you have the carriers that way? You lost your sense of direction too?
Oh, the man just been here, so I'm going to drive over this.
So we are here because we were told that you had your visa revoked.
All right, then nobody. You can't sleep because.
No,
right,
no.
you know where Gary booked. You look at the embassy.
No, but it's unless you want to.
So you can fly back to New York tomorrow. That's what you're saying to us? You can fly back to New York tomorrow, Miss Primus. Can you book a flight and fly tomorrow back to the United States?
I
want to fly by somebody, Father. I decide among yourself who Father fly by.
But that's
That's what I said. I'm flying by somebody. I don't want to clear nothing. Because it don't matter what I say, people go run with what they're running with. And I ain't too much keen on the running, as you
But
could
we are
see.
here to get their work. We want to know
Oh,
what
this
you
guy
have
is
to
Guys
say.
stubborn,
like
man.
New Jersey, I don't know.
We want to know what you have to say. We want to know what the facts are. Okay, but as I'm telling you, we were told that you had your visa revoked due to your affiliation with the Mohammeds.
No.
Can you confirm or
It
deny
has
this?
nothing to do with the Mohammeds, for the love of God.
So then
Where's
what did they
your
ask you
obsession
about?
with these people?
So what do you
Who you business would ask me about for? You glad I don't for what you face? And the tired chat?
Is it true that your cellular devices were taken away by the authorities? Do you have your cellular phones on you? You don't have them?
No, me ain't not.
What happened to your cellular phone?
You figure it out, because you seem to know a lot of things in this tribe.
No,
I'm a
we're
journalist.
asking.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
I know you know.
She got her cell phone in her pocket, but it was taken by the U.S. authorities, and then
I want to be. I'm not
so it's funny. It passed and off as joke, and it's funny, but a lot of people are gonna lose the visas. So this is
Yes, yeah, I was talking about.
All right.
Thank you, baby.
so she has a whole bus here, and obviously paid for by her financier.
Yes. What made lifestyle interesting?
Okay,
I'm just wondering why you
don't-
don't
I'm
abandon you.
concerned about
Don't
me.
bother with him. Do you have anything to tell us voluntarily about what transpired in the US and how come you're back here so soon?
How you know when I live?
I don't know what
morning,
I'm
we
saying.
know
It's
this
alleged,
morning.
right? It's alleged. So we're asking. We want clarity.
This morning?
I do not want to voluntarily say anything.
Okay.
I thank you guys very much for coming out. Thank you for all the cameras. Hopefully you're able to get some good angles because I've got some bad angles.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for that. Do enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
So you're not going to provide any clarity to us? You've been standing here for so long.
But yeah, I should don't sleep in. Yeah, I'm looking at yourself.
I agree.
You got nice girl, you know, this and stand up in this.
I
True?
agree.
Where is your husband?
I agree. But tell me something now.
So Odessa Primus, having fun at it, and what else you can do. She's lost her visa as a result of her association with the Mohammeds and being a buffer, but she's back in Guyana. A lot of people don't have visas in Guyana, but it's not nice to know that you would lose your visa based on this. And the Mohammeds continually have said publicly, no, nobody don't lose their visa as a result of association. Odessa Primus is unwilling to say why she thinks, but she knows. And then her financier, obviously, the Mohammeds have been funding people all the years to keep quiet about their visa loss and, still having associations. But we will see who's next. A lot of people, hundreds of people have already lost the visa. Odessa Primus is the last victim as a result of her being a buffer for the Mohammeds, between the Mohammeds and the lobbyists in Washington that she met, that she posted on her page. You could go to her page and see it, and she's denied that she knew this gentleman is a lobbyist. And a questionable lobbyist is that. A lobbyist that was fined by the US government for doing things that were not up to standard. She met that lobbyist in Washington. She posted it on her page, tagging confuse the enemy and all these kind of things. And today, this morning, she flied out from here this morning. All this is information that is out there. She flied out from Guyana this morning, reached the JFK airport in New York, was taken in, questioned extensively. Her phone was confiscated for a period of time. What information the US authorities got from that is yet to be known. And today, now she's here saying no, she's not accepting that her visa has been revoked. So, let's look at it. Let's see what's going to happen. She's not the first person that has not been willing or is embarrassed or ashamed to talk about losing the visa. But in her circumstance, it is clear as day what transpired. And the US authorities are not known to, divulge this information. And these, because hundreds of millions of people have their visa revoked in a yearly basis in the United States of America, right? So the US authorities don't be answering every question. I will reach out to the US Embassy. Hopefully they'll give us an answer as to what's going on, if this visa revocation was as a result of some ongoing investigation. But I can tell you, the center of this, when Melissa Atwell, Melissa Holder, was held by ICE and DHS, she was questioned extensively about the Mohammeds, her association, where she get financing from, all these things. She told somebody after she come out after she came out of detention, she told somebody, man, the thing, and her demeanor has changed to the Mohammeds. She shared things. She's not so very vocal in supporting the Mohammeds. Now, Odessa Primus is back, but Odessa Primus is a trooper. She's a comedian, and she knows she's back here. Now, if she can't go to the U.S., it's better she go all in with the Mohammeds. But there are many people who will lose their visas as a result of association with the Mohammeds. Mohammed's enterprise, Hadi's World, and Team Mohammed, and all the businesses associated with Azadeen and Nazar Mohammed, doesn't have one publicly known employee that has a visa. You imagine people have hundreds of people working for them that not one of them have a valid visa? All revoked. The mechanic that went to Miami to inspect the Ferrari that the Mohammeds bought, he doesn't have a visa. His visa was revoked. Everybody, if you make it publicly known that you're associated with the Mohammeds, your visa becomes revoked. Unfortunately, Odessa Primus did not decide to come clean with the reporters, but it's clear as day. If you want to see what it's like and what will happen, try your luck. Let's see who's next. The Guyanese critic for Daybreak News, coming to you from Cherry Jagan International Airport, where Odessa Primus, who had her visa revoked this morning by U.S. authorities and have now been sent back to Guyana, just landed and dodged the reporters' questions as it relates to basically her revocation of her visa. I'm not willing to answer that. The questions is as it is a result of association with the Mohammeds, and I can tell you clear as day it is that, and specifically that she was a buffer between the Mohammeds and a lobbyist in Washington. The Guyanese critic out.